Hello everyone and welcome to the Stamp Camp. I'm Glenda Calkins, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, coming to you live for Tuesday's tips and techniques. Tonight's technique is something I kind of stumbled across and just did my own thing with, and I'm calling it antiquing with 3D embossed images. So I already have the camera. I was going to say let's change the camera, but we don't need to because I already did. This is the finished card, and I wish you could see it in person because it is shimmery, shiny, and oh so pretty. I think you can kind of pick up on that shine and shimmer a little bit. But to do this technique, we are going to be using the 3D seashell embossing folder from Stampin' Up! Now this folder is unorderable at the moment. It is estimated to be back in-house March 29. But you can do this technique with any of the 3D embossing folders. 3D is just a very deep impression that you get with the embossing folder. You are also going to need the watercolor paper for this technique because we are doing lots of wet watercoloring here. So let me I don't have to change the camera. Let me make sure everything is set, and we are going to start this. You are going to start with that piece of watercolor paper. Now I cut it down to size. I cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5. You're going to take a clear block, and I just use 2 re-inkers. I think if you use more than 2 colors, it starts to get a little muddied up. So the colors that I chose were Blushing Bride and Pool Party. Now I think it would be gorgeous done in like Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, Pool Party, Bermuda Bay. There's lots of different color combinations that you could mix. The next thing you're going to need is a Stampin' Spritzer, and you're going to fill this with just your regular tap water. And you want to get your watercolor paper. I'm going to put this in here because we're going to get it very wet. So you're going to spray that and get that whole paper really, really wet. There should be like no dry spots. The next thing you're going to do is take the watercolor pen or the water pens, fill it with water, and you're going to pick up that re-inker, and then you're just going to drop it on your cardstock like so. I'm going to grab a paper towel, make sure it's running clear, and then I'm going to pick up that blue, and we're going to do the same thing with the blue, kind of all over the place. You can touch directly, you can drip it on, however you want to do it. That looks pretty fun. You can take the paper towel and blot it to get off that all that water, that excess water. Kind of see where you're at. Decide where you want more color. You can pick up, like say I want more pink. That's pretty. And I'm going to just come in a little bit more with the blue. What you can do too is if you want to really spread the color, come back in with your water spritzer and spritz that card again. And that'll just make it all flow. The next thing you're going to do is you're either going to heat emboss it with your, or heat dry it with your heat gun, or set it aside to dry. It is very wet, so it will take a little time to dry. So I've already went and did one, and it is dry. When you do this technique, you can see each time you do it, it's going to have a different look just because you're applying different color inks in different areas, some more than others. So just keep that in mind. Every time you do it, you will get a different look. So let's take that dry one. I'm going to wipe off that ink. so I don't get it on anything else. The next thing you're going to do is bring in your die cutting machine. Okay. And your 3D embossing folder. So you're going to put your side that you colored towards the Stampin' Up! Logo side. So face down. Put that on and then put plate number 4 on top and run that through. And I'm going to just run it back. I want a nice deep impression. And we'll move this. And we'll reveal what we have inside. Can you see that texture? So the next thing you're going to do to antique it, you're going to take the gray granite ink pad. Got all little kind of fuzzy things going on. I don't know. My computer here is really making crazy noise. I'm thinking it's on its last leg. Then you're just going to rub your ink pad. And like I said, this is the gray granite over the top. And that is going to make that embossing pop up. Plus, it's going to give that antiqued kind of look. It almost reminds me of the patina technique. But that you do with embossing, and this is just your direct ink pad. Now you can do it as much as you want or as little as you want. I wish the color was better because it is so pretty, those pinks and blues in person. Now I've decided this time I'm going to switch it up and put it on the pink and then on the gray granite. But before I do that, I'm going to take my spritzer, another one, and what I did with this one is I filled it about up to here with alcohol, and then I put between 8 to 10 drops of the champagne mist paint in it, and now I've just got to shake it up good. And we're going to spray that, and that's going to make it all shimmery and shiny. I want to get my paper back in here. And I'm going to give that spray. And ooh, I wish you could see how shiny and gorgeous that is. So pretty. Now alcohol does dry up rather quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the rest of the cards. So this time I'm going to put it on the Blushing Bride. Where is my adhesive? I'm not seeing it, so I guess I'll grab my glue. I'm going to just center that right here on the front. Like so. The next thing I did was take the Tasteful Labels dies, and I die cut my piece and I stamped happy birthday to my beautiful friend. This is in the Friends Are Like Seashells stamp set, and I thought that went gorgeous. So I die cut it out of the gray granite, but I've also got it out of the pink, which I'm thinking I kind of like the pink better on this one. So I'm going to take the basic gray. I just went a little darker. And I'm going to grab the sentiment. And we'll stamp that right there. Just like that. Let's see. It's still a little wet, so I think I'm going to grab my heat tool. And we'll just heat set that a little bit. Like I said, because it is alcohol, it does dry really quick. Quicker than the water would. Alright, so let's add my liquid glue to the back side of this. And we'll put that on the front. Hold that in place just a bit. We're going to take our sentiment and we're going to pop that up. Like I said, you can do this technique with any of the 3D embossing folders. Creates very cool backgrounds, or have it be the focal point of your card like I am on here. The last thing we're going to do is take our opal rounds. I guess I'll take my scissors because I don't know what I did with my pick tool. We're just going to put some of them on the, here it is, sentiment, and then we are done with this card. So cool. I love that background. Now you might be saying, could you do that with designer series paper? And the answer is yes. I took this piece, you can see it's designer series paper, from the, I think it's Sand and Sea designer series paper, and ran it through my cut and emboss machine inside the Seashells 3D embossing folder. And then I just rubbed the ink pad over the top and spritzed it with the shimmer paint and alcohol mix. So easy, easy. You can skip the whole watercoloring technique and go right to designer series paper if you like. I think that turned out gorgeous as well. This, I think, gives you a little bit more of that 3D image because you still see a little bit of that white in the background. But either way, gorgeous cards. That is my Antiquing a 3D Embossed Image. If you like what you've seen, make sure that you share, like, and follow me on Facebook. And if you are on YouTube, make sure that you sign up and click on that bell in the upper right hand corner so you know when I go live. That is it for today. If you need any of the supplies, you can order them on my blog, www.TheStampCamp.com. I will let you in on a little bit of info. Tomorrow, or actually midnight tonight Mountain Time through midnight or 11:59 Mountain Time on Wednesday, that's tomorrow, Stampin' Up! Is offering free shipping. So if you need any supplies, please go to my blog, www.TheStampCamp.com. Place your order. Use that hostess code that's there. I appreciate any and all orders, and we all love free shipping, right? Thank you so much for your orders and your time. That's what helps me get all these videos and everything, blog posts for you each and every day. That is it for today. Thanks for